everybody, how's it going? I'm going to start this off by saying yes, this is rush content. I kind of ran into a problem with HDCP, which is HD copyright protection. I was going to wait it out till late December, but seeing a video today where somebody ended up copying some of the content that I was going to put out that I had already had, I've talked to Trexlate, aka Mike, and we've decided it's time to go ahead and put this content out right away. I know it's not the best quality, but once I get the money to get the converters for the HDCP problem, we won't have to deal with this bad quality. So I'll do the best I can to make this as good as possible. That's just all I can say about it for right now. I am gonna have to record the video and then commentate after the fact. There's really nothing I can do right now based on the way that the card that I have, which is the AverMedia 1080p card. That's $200 down the drain. I've got to spend another $100 to fix this problem. So for anybody wanting to get that card, just be aware it doesn't really work too well on consoles as far as copyright protection goes. Alright, into the gameplay. So I want to talk about the gameplay before I show this, because I'm going pretty quick through this gameplay just so that it's not a waste of time for you guys, since it's really not the best quality. But Black Ops 2. The game hasn't been out too long. I will say that there's a couple things that will want to be nerfed that people are going to figure out eventually, if not now already. Top guns I would say to use. Assault rifles, start with the MTAR when you first start out. So level 1, you've got your MTAR. Use that until you unlock the Type 25. Once you've unlocked the Type 25, your setup, you're going to want to have a silencer, fast mags, and grip. Once you've got that, use that until you have unlocked the SMR. And the SMR is awesome, except for the fact that you have to grind it out to level 10. Once you get level 10, you can get the select fire and have that on full auto. That gun is really good. I've noticed some connection problems with it, but it takes people out in usually 2 to 3 hits, considering that the hit detection in this game is pretty bad. That's like the only gun to pretty much get around this problem. Once you have the SMR, you can either stick with the Type 25 or use the SMR until you get to the M8A1, and those are really the only assault rifles I would ever recommend. The M8A1 is nice. I don't really see a reason for select fire on this gun, but your attachments usually goes as follows: as silencer, fast mags, and grip, except for the M8A1. There's really no need for a grip on that gun because of the fact that it has practically no recoil. As far as the SMGs go, pretty much all of them are fine. Ones that kind of stand out are the Vector and the Chickum CQB. Even though it's a burst fire gun, since it has no cap on it, you can pretty much make it a full auto with a fast fire radar, shooting fast with your finger. As far as the MSMC, everyone's calling that the AK-74U. I don't want to put that on the table. I don't want to put that up for a debate. It's not really something to talk about. It's an okay gun. Use it if you want. As far as any other guns go, that's really all I recommend even using. Attachments, as far as submachine goes, it kind of follows the same thing. Some guns you may want to use quick draw, some guns you don't. It's up to you in that case. As far as perks go, defensively aggressive. This means that you play defensive, but you're pushing to where you're keeping them from getting out of their spawn, or blocking off a certain area and controlling 75% of the map to where they can't really do much about it. Now in this game it's a little bit harder because you don't have a motion sensor, and 2, the way the maps are set up and the way that the hit detection is in this game, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And especially since I've noticed that a lot of the players in this game aren't very good. At least maybe that's just my opinion, but it seems to be that way since Modern Warfare 3. So perks. It's kind of a toss-up, but if I'm playing Domination, I'm usually running Flak Jacket in the hardline. Rarely ever Ghost. I just don't see a need for it right now, even though UAVs are kind of crazy. toughness, because really I don't see anything that kind of competes with that category right now. Scavenger's not really that big a deal. It's not that hard to pick up a gun off the ground, really. I mean, if you're playing defensively aggressive, you should be getting high KD kills and, you know, excuse me, a good amount of defends and captures to where you're gonna run across the gun eventually, and you shouldn't be dying too often. Your third perk, usually tac mask or dexterity, sometimes on a rarity extreme conditioning, but it's really not necessary because of the fact there's so many locations on the maps where there's no need to get there faster that it just kind of destroys that perk in its own. As far as domination goes, maybe it's better in other game modes, but I've only played kill confirm, team deathmatch, and domination, and ground wars. It's usually all I'm playing. And of course you have to use the 2 wild cards, perk 1 greed and primary gunfighter. Now, as far as secondaries, you're gonna notice that with this setup I don't have a secondary or any concussion grenades, you know, tactical or lethal grenades. I completely rely on my gun skill, and that's just how it is. I don't feel that I need any of the other things. If I was gonna get a pistol, I would have went with that 3-shot burst pistol. That thing is ridiculous. And as far as lethal and tactical go, concussion is fine, shock charges are fine, they're kind of ridiculous, and the blackout is really good as far as not having to have this huge secondary that you have to pull off your back and aim up into the sky. Granted, you know, it doesn't kill choppers and everything like that pretty quick, but you know, Black Hat is actually a really good thing to have. Someone should have that on your team. Now, as far as my playstyles go, they're dependent on playing alone. It's even better if you're playing with a party, but I'm usually playing alone because no one wants to play domination apparently in this game. I don't know why. Nobody wants to play with me, so that's fine. So usually the kill streaks I'll run is UAV, counter UAV, and Guardian. And the only thing I would ever change would be counter UAV to Hellfire. It's just dependent on how I feel and, you know, what's going on in that game and that kind of stuff. As far as the reason I picked the Guardian, you'll see in later gameplays when I can get better quality and get everything set up that the Guardian is pretty much the key component to domination, or practically any objective-based game. I'm going to point out when you see the gameplay where you should place the Guardian. It pretty much can block off spawn areas or even just pathways for the enemy to even come to the objective. I wouldn't play without the Guardian as far as an objective-based game goes. And if you can even get 2 of them in one game, that is ridiculous. I mean, they get so frustrated, people rage quit, they don't, you know, they can't go anywhere. What are they supposed to do? As far as UAVs and counter UAVs, yeah, they get shot down, but for the seconds that they're up, most people won't shoot them down. For the seconds they're up, they're still good to your team. They're still a viable option. And these kill streaks may sound low, but the whole idea is you have about 5 minutes in each round of domination. Getting these high kill streaks to me is pointless. The time that is on the clock, and then how quick these games go, and how often it is possible to die, and the variations within this game, it makes more sense to get more kill streaks per round than just getting it once and that's all you get per round. If you can get this setup 3 or 4 times in a game, I'd rather have that than just getting a lodestar and only getting it once and that's all you get. I mean, that just seems pointless to me. That's just my opinion. Alright, here's the gameplay. Something I want to add is, depending on how the round is going and depending on how the enemies have figured out your playstyle, sometimes you don't capture the base flag, and sometimes you do. Also, I'm going to note, since I'm not going to talk over the gameplay, when I'm shooting down directly at the ground and you see me kind of go at an angle, that's where I would say place the Guardian. It's just easier for me not to talk over the gameplay right now because it's really hard to watch it and talk at the same time and match it up together so that it doesn't look messed up. Regardless, it's going to look messed up anyway until I can get the $100 extra to fix this problem that I'm having. I'm really sorry about you know, this really bad quality and horrible setup, but there's not much I can do right now.
UAV on standby. took C. Securing Alpha.
UAV awaiting order. Check your timeline. UAV inbound. Hunter killer drone deployed.